The Madness Entertainment Group presents the Madness Comic Network with original programming and additional comic-related content. Tune in and subscribe to Comic Talk with Pops Van Zandt on YouTube.
Ladies and gentlemen, the human sunbeam, Mr. Ethan Van Sciver.
Thank
you. We have the best studio audience. Ethan, thank you so much for coming on tonight. This is bigger for us than it is for you because we're just a struggling little podcast. I say we're a podcast falling in the woods without an audience.
Oh, let's see if we can get you an audience. Let's go. Let's go, Comic Skate. Let's get in here.
Where is your hot tub time machine? Because you have lost 20 years since the last week I saw you.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? It's just a steady diet of, I've been eating sweet potatoes and salmon and dyeing my beard, things like that. It really helps.
I run out of dye when I try to do my beard. It just, I run low on it.
Oh, it's fun. I love it. It's a nice difference.
A lot of people in the chat who are really interested in what has happened here, and largely not so much for the history of it, although we need to figure that out so we know why we're here, but how it's going to impact them. Because Comicsgate, since I've been aware of it, which is around 2017, the early days, it's been this sort of anarcho-libertarian, leave me alone, let me do comics kind of thing.
Yeah.
And now there's this simmering fear that, now there's rules.
No.
Oh, and we have a $20 super chat already from JVP Music. Thank you so much. Great to see EVS on Critical Blast. I can't read it when it goes by that fast, Pops. You're going to let the words come out of my mouth, man. The tides are a-turning. Comicsgate and the Iron Age are making an impact. Yes, they are. I don't think that's deniable anymore. So why was it important to secure this trademark?
Well, it was important to me. I wish it wasn't important to secure the trademark, but it is. It's become increasingly clear that being a part of Comicsgate means that there are a lot of people who want to hurt you. And I think you know this. I think everybody who is Comicsgate has felt this at one time or another. They're just people who want us to go away. And they've tried every single tactic that they can think of. I think maybe there are more tactics coming to ruin this community, to ruin this movement, to ruin this club of comic book creators and fans. And one of the techniques that they've tried to use a couple of times is to copyright or trademark the word Comicsgate. Now, that was attempted by Vox Day back in 2018. I think everybody remembers that.
I do.
Now, Vox Day and most comic skaters of that time period had a philosophical difference about what they wanted Comicsgate to be. I know that because I was in a back room, DM room, with a lot of comic skaters, and I listened to them, and also on live streams. And Vox Day wanted to trademark the word Comicsgate and then put out something called CG, Comicsgate Comics. And people were opposed to that because I think Vox Day philosophically wanted to answer SJWs with radical right-wing comic books.
Yeah.
He thought, well, if they're doing comics that are left-leaning, extremely left-leaning, Comicsgate should be right-leaning and just as aggressively political as what they're doing. And the Comicsgate is larger than that. It's a bigger tent than that. Certainly, we have our right-wingers. We have some far right-wingers, but we also have some liberals. And we want them to feel welcome because the idea that we're espousing, the concept of Comicsgate, is just creative freedom with no political discrimination. It really should be about entertainment and fun, stories first, politics, a distant second or third. If you want to do political stories, fine. But we want everybody to read our comics. So I sent Vox Day a legal letter claiming the common law trademark of Comicsgate for myself because I'd used it already in commerce. I had a show called Comicsgate Live. And the rules are, when it comes to trademarking, it's all about confusing brands.
Right.
So, if he's putting out Comicsgate comics and I've got my show Comicsgate Live and I'm making money on that, people might think that what he's doing is connected to me. And so I sent him a cease and desist and he backed down really quickly. Now we've got Preston Poulter and a few others who banded together back in 2021, I think April of 2021, to try that same tactic. But this time, it was being done by somebody who was philosophically opposed to what we stand for deliberately.
Yeah, it was a malicious filing.
It was a malicious filing meant to hurt everyone in the community. Everyone. His plan was, I'm going to control. Preston Poulter is going to control. He said this. This isn't a matter of supposition or debate. He actually said his plan was to be the owner of Comicsgate, the word Comicsgate, and then use various tactics, DMCA tactics, to destroy everyone's YouTube channels. Anyone who used the word Comicsgate, he would punish with a DMCA strike, perhaps a lawsuit. And that was intolerable. Obviously, that was not okay. The other thing that he wanted to do was he wanted to place the Comicsgate logo on material that Comicsgaters would find objectionable. And I don't want to show it. I don't know if you have it. I don't want to pull it up.
I don't have it. I have seen it. That was enough.
Yeah, it was. He put it on a comic book that the description, it was on Kickstarter. A comic book about a 17-year-old girl having underage girl having sexual relationships with an underage demon named Lolita. And Comicsgaters, I think by and large, I don't speak for all Comicsgaters, but I'm fairly sure that Comicsgate didn't want to be associated with that. And my belief is that he did that deliberately to further impugn Comicsgate and Comicsgaters, especially after we had a scandal directly before that with a guy named Jimmy, what's his name?
Slick Jimmy Love.
Slick Jimmy, who it turns out was a pedophile and was sent to jail for child pornography. That rocked the community. A lot of people knew him, and it was incredibly horrible and embarrassing. And we really just everybody universally condemned him. But boy, didn't our enemies get a kick out of that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't delete my tweets. I don't usually say anything I'm mistaken about or ashamed of, and I backed his book, so I always have those tweets thrown back at me with a sort of guilt by association kind of claim whenever I have support of Comicsgate in conversations.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like we want to avoid situations like that. I don't want to curate the fandom. I certainly don't. I also don't want to do too much curating of creators that I'm supporting. I hate to have to do that. I really, my channel's big. People watch my show. I feel like people back comic books oftentimes on my recommendation, and I hate to have to second guess everyone. The last thing I want to do is this comic book, is the guy who's producing this comic book somebody who could hurt the entire movement and everybody in the fandom. So, that was, I think that was what Preston intended to do. And it was a malicious filing. He was fully aware that he wasn't entitled to Comicsgate, that it had nothing to do with him. He was somebody who expressed a desire to destroy what we stand for, what we're trying to build many times. And it was clear what his intentions were. So thanks to some very forward-thinking individuals. Now, I've always had the common law trademark for Comicsgate. It's always been mine. I claimed it, back in 2018. But an individual by the name of Critius, who formerly was, kind of looked at as somebody who ran away with his money, didn't fulfill his book. He's somebody who spent a lot of the money that he got trademarking Comicsgate. He did it. And I remember he told me about it. He said, I'm going to trademark Comicsgate. I said, okay. He said, it's yours if you want it, but I'm going to file for it. And I said, thanks, Critius. I don't know if I don't know how, back then I was like, I don't know how important it is that get done. Thank God he did that.
Yeah.
Dark Gift Comics, who's in the chat right now, another great guy who we all owe a tremendous amount of thanks to, actually licensed Comicsgate from Critius and produced a few comic books. I think Mandy Summers did too, with Comicsgate on the books, and sold them successfully. So he actually, between those two guys, Critius and Dark Gift Comics, those guys they defeated Preston Poulter by using it in commerce and being able to prove that they used it in commerce on comic books. And thank God for them. What an amazing, we'd have so much more trouble if it wasn't for those two guys. I'm endlessly grateful to them.
And they were just doing it because it was cool at the time. Really, no one was thinking they were securing the blessings of liberty for Comicsgate in any way, shape, or form.
But how fortunate! What amazing fortune! Yeah.
So
Dark Gift, how you doing, pal?
There you go. You said that you don't want to be somebody who's curating books about, is this good for Comicsgate or is it not? But now, aren't you in that position where you're going to have to do that? Or are you going to perhaps establish some sort of a board or a committee that can take care of this by vote? Which would be my option, because I think if you vote somebody in, then you have no legal repercussions if you decide you can vote them out. But that's my 2 cents. It's your company.
I want people to understand that really the only thing that I am currently, because now the Critius and Critius has given the trademark to me. He's turned it over to me officially. Okay. So I am the steward and holder of the trademark of Comicsgate as somebody who uses it in commerce. And that means a couple of things. I have to use it in commerce. Okay. I will. I'm going to put it on some comic books. I am going to make some clothing. I'm going to make hats and t-shirts and sell them. I'm hoping that, comic skaters will purchase them and support this. The money from that will go to pay for some legal fees. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But no, my job is to protect the word, not to protect the club, not to protect the movement. The movement is everybody. If you say you're Comicsgate, that's cool. And then let the customers decide if you're Comicsgate. Nobody gets to say that person's not Comicsgate except for the people who buy books. And so the people in the audience, if Preston Poulter comes out and says, I'm Comicsgate, well, that's up to the customers. That's up to Comicsgaters to decide. And there might be some disagreement. Somebody might be like, look, I don't think he's really Comicsgate. I think he's a phony. I don't think he really believes what I believe or what we stand for. And then they might not support his book. The only thing I'm protecting is the word Comicsgate in commerce. So nobody needs to worry about like being able to say I'm Comicsgate. I'll go out there and talk about Comicsgate, use the hashtag, do all of those things. That nothing's going to change. The only thing that's going to change now is that I am now the guardian and protector of the word Comicsgate, that trademark, the word Comicsgate. Yes. When it comes to its use in commerce. So do you understand what that means? Do the chat understand?
Well, let's get back to defining what commerce you have regarded or set aside here. What classes does the trademark apply to? I mean, you can't just, if somebody wants to make Comicsgate Cupcakes a company, you probably don't have that protected yet.
I don't think so. I might if it's related in some way to, if it could confuse people, customers, with my business, which is going to be Comicsgate comic books and clothing. I believe I have those two classes. I'd have to ask my lawyer just to make sure if there's, anything else. So apparel and comic books. Now, if you're going to make cupcakes that use my logo, like the Comicsgate logo that I'm establishing, or anything like that might make people think that we're connected in business somehow, you do need to come to me, and my lawyer and I will make sure that we sub-license to you. Okay, you will be able to, if you want to make Comicsgate cupcakes, you can. Just make sure that, like, before you do that, you come to us so that we can write you a license. And we're going to do it for free. I'm not interested in making any money. I make my money from hats, from comics, from posters, from toys. I don't want to take any more money from anyone else. And I want people to be able to make money from the word Comicsgate if they want to, if they're interested in that. I'd like them to be able to try to do that.
Okay. So, but you don't know if it's, if you've got the class for toys, for calendars, for coins, all of which are things that, have been crowdfunded before under the Comicsgate moniker.
Right. I'm not positive about that, but I think anything that confuses, I believe how it's defined is anything that might confuse the customer and make them think that it's mine, that I approved of it. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. Like, you can make Kiss cupcakes, but what if you're making cupcakes that say Kiss and they confuse people to think about the band? Suddenly people are like, did Gene Simmons approve of these cupcakes? Because they remind me of, they look like, but then again, it could just say in cursive Kiss. I don't know. But that's the thing. Like, there are certain trademarks that he owns that you can't step on those without getting their permission. Does that make sense?
So it does to me, yes. Especially, if you've got a special lettering style, that's obviously a logo that, shouldn't apply to things. I have maybe done a bootleg thing in the past with a cake for my son, who was a big Archie fan, and I found some edible icing and printed the Archie myself and just laid it on the cake because the bakery.
I don't think it matters with a one-off like that. I think it matters if you go into the Archie cake business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm mass producing Archie cakes for people. Well, you're going to hear from their lawyers. You can't do that. So
whereas where Preston was literally going to go after YouTube channels that were using the name, that's not something that you're going to get into. So if Comicsgate Live, CG Talk, all that stuff, business as usual.
I'd like it if people who had shows that were called Comicsgate just came and said hello. I'd like to know that. But that's just because, again, it's not something that I insist upon. It's my job. I have to. When you have a trademark, you have to protect the trademark. You can't let people just utilize it without a little sub-license or something like that. And so if people want to have shows that are called Comicsgate where they're accepting super chats, just say, hey, how you doing? Is this all right? And just let me know about it so that I can. And it's, again, I'm going to be the easiest person in the world. As long as you're not somebody who's like Preston Poulter, who has expressed that he wants to hurt us in some way. I'm just going to say, great, go do it. Good luck. How can I help?
And you have to do that. You have to get the permission, folks. Just email him and say, here's my show. Because if you don't, and he doesn't say anything about it, then when somebody does start to use it maliciously and he goes after them, they'll be like, well, here's proof that he hasn't been defending the mark.
Right. Yes. It's a job I've taken on. I didn't ask to do this. This isn't something that I wanted to do really in particular, but I got to do it. I've got to do it, guys. It's what have we been fighting for? It's what my wife said to me. I said, do we want this fight? And she said, yes. What have we been fighting for? What has this all been about? 5 years of fighting to legitimize Comicsgate, pushing back, being slandered at every opportunity, and working hard to make it mean something positive. Why would we just give it away to some cuckold like Preston Poulter? Why would we do that? We're not going to do that. We're going to fight for it. And I need Comicsgaters to help be a part of that. Understand we're in this together. This is our club. This is our group. This is our organization. This is our movement. And we do, as it turns out, we do need to defend it. Now, I've taken on the task of being the guy who gets to do that. And I want to partner with everybody who is a comic skater, who is interested in making a T-shirt or whatever you want to make. You want to make a pair of socks? Yes, that's cool. Just come to me and just run it by me. Okay. I don't want any of the money. I just want to make sure that I will be like, so you're a comic skater, right? Okay, great. No problem.
So is it too late in the proofing for Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet to have the cover bear that new logo on it? And
it's too late.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You've got the things printed out, right?
The next thing I do, I'm going to go ahead and I'll put Comic Skate on there. I will. I think that sounds great. I'm proud of Comic Skate. I love Comic Skate. It really has made my life a whole lot better. And I'm also going to work. I'm also going to work to take legal action against some of these people who lie about it, because it's now my brand.
Yes.
So, there maybe Wikipedia might be receiving some letters from my attorney, and maybe some other people who have decided to maliciously slander my brand will be receiving notes from my lawyer. And anyone involved, by the way, heads up, anyone who was involved in any way with what Preston did, you will be hearing from my lawyer. You might not be expecting it. I'm warning you to expect it right now. Anyone who utilized the brand in a way that was malicious back then will be hearing about it. So, warning, some of us are friends now, but that's the way it goes.
You've got to follow through, or you're not defending the brand. And as soon as you don't defend it, then it gives people leeway to use it for what they want. Now, one of the things that it was in Preston's filing was he was claiming abandonment of the mark.
Mm-hmm.
I think it takes a while to prove abandonment of the mark. I mean, between 2017, 2018, and 2021, that's not that big of a window, especially, for the time periods necessary to fund and print these days.
Preston seemed to think that abandoning the mark was like dropping the football. And you could just pick it up and run the other way. And that's really not how it works. That's not how trademarking works. There's something called public perception and public goodwill. People associate Comicsgate with me. Every single article written to defame Comicsgate, I have been nailed to a plank of wood. My name, not everybody's name, mostly just me. So people know that Comicsgate is mine. And they always have. So Preston's idea that, well, he didn't put it on any of his books, therefore I'm allowed to do that, is not what trademark law is. Not at all. He's going to learn a lesson. He's going to learn a very costly lesson about that. Should be fun.
It's going to be, for news sites like mine, it's definitely going to be a story that we follow closely and report on as things roll out. But now that it is a brand, and now that you are going to be going out and trying to clean things up that are out there, one of the things that has always hurt Comicsgate is that there wasn't a set of rules. It's like being Baptist. You can be Southern Baptist, or you can be Westboro Baptist. And if somebody wants to hate on Baptist, all they got to do is point at the worst Baptist they see and say, "Look." That's in Comicsgate, they point to the Westboro comic skaters, and they're like, they're all like that.
That's unavoidable. But Christianity is a pretty good way to compare. Do you believe Jesus died for your sins and was resurrected? You do, then you're Christian. And it's as simple as that. There's some very basic fundamental things that all comic skaters agree about, and those are the things we're concerned about. A lot of people will say, well, what is the definition? Define, what Comicsgate is. And there's some disagreements because people all hold their own views about why Comicsgate needs to exist, where it came from, how it started. And that's fine. I mean, everybody can have general disagreements of their own personal kind of, understandings about what Comicsgate means to them. But there are some fundamental things that started from the very beginning of the foundation the beginning of this movement that we all understand and we all agree with, and we all know to be what brought us all together. And that's what's important. And I won't make distinctions like that. Are you anti-cancel culture, for example? If you're not if you're somebody who says it's not cancel culture, it's consequence culture, perhaps you're not Comicsgate.
Perhaps.
And that would be like an example of something that everybody agrees with, who is Comicsgate.
Yeah, I've had people who said they were Comicsgate, and I would be able to look and say, no, I don't think you really are. But no one can actually just come out and say, no, you're not Comicsgate, because who can say that? I go back to by their fruits you shall know them. We'll just leave it with that kind of a description. If they act like Comicsgate, then maybe they are Comicsgate. They
Right.
act according to the tenets. George has a question here, which is how the approval would work, because before a launch of a campaign, somebody really doesn't have everything to show you for approval.
Oh, I mean, George, look, just come to me and say, I know you're Comicsgate. I know who you are, George. You just come to me and say, I'd like to make a can opener that says Comicsgate on it. And I'm going to say, okay, let me get I'll have a little bit of paperwork so that we make it official. And, as long as you're Comicsgate, it's not going to be a problem. It's just going to be a simple sub license to you, and we'll take it from there. Don't overthink it, George. It's not like the book that you do has to be, who are you? You know what I mean? Like, are you one of the group here? Are you a member of the family? Such as it is, even the extended family and the cousins that we don't talk to. Are you a part of this whole thing? Then it's going to be. We're going to try to make it ezy for you.
Okay.
We are.
Well, we've talked about how easy it's going to be for people who are Comicsgate, because George, you know a lot of the other people. What if somebody comes to you and they say, "Here's my project," and you, for whatever reason, you say no? That's going to they're going to say,
again, this thing is it doesn't matter. Like, you would have to come here and say, I want to put the word Comicsgate on something that's going to make money. Understand, I'm not gatekeeping Comicsgaters. Anybody can say they're Comicsgate. And that hasn't changed. I'm not gatekeeping the movement. I'm not here to curate the fans or the creators. That's not what it is. The only thing I'm protecting is the use of the word Comicsgate in commerce. If you want to put the brand on a t-shirt, if you want to make a convention called Comicsgate Con, these are things that you'll need to come to me for, and just say, hey, is this cool? And more than likely, I'm going to say, yes, it's cool. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the opportunity where you have to say no for something, and they say, well, what did I violate?
Kelly Sue DeConnick comes to me and says, I want to make fuck Comicsgate t-shirts. I'm going to say, I'll sue you. How does that sound? That's what we're looking at.
That'll work.
Okay.
Oh, so are there any, other than cleaning things up online, as far as the slander has gone towards Comicsgate, or the libel since it's printed, any thoughts about now going forward improving the public perception of Comicsgate? Because a lot of people agree with Comicsgate, but they don't want to fly the flag, because why would I want to disenfranchise all these people who don't like Comicsgate because of what they feel about it? So I'd be disenfranchising customers. I'll support Comicsgate, but I won't say I am.
Well, that's one of the things that makes somebody who dares to come to me and say, I would like to put Comicsgate on t-shirts and sell it in a genuine way. I'm Comicsgate, or whatever it is. I want to make $20, $25 on a t-shirt. See, that kind of risk and that kind of social pressure makes me, that's a thing. That's what Comicsgaters do. They're not worried. They're not timid about what other people are going to think. They believe in Comicsgate. They're anti-cancel culture. They're anti-politics before story. They're people who want to be treated with respect as customers. Like, these are all things that if you are Comicsgate, you're brave enough to confess, and you're not worried at all. And that's everybody in the chat pretty much.
Yeah. And you don't, James Murphy's chat was just up there. You can work for the mainstream industry and be Comicsgate. As far as Comicsgate is concerned, the mainstream industry may push you out the door.
Of course. Yeah.
But if you work for DC and you like Comicsgate, you say you're Comicsgate, Comicsgate's not going to say you can't be.
Mr. Dong says, what about putting Comicsgate on socks and having Vickyverse model them? This has already happened. Yeah, as I mentioned before, like this is going to be, there will be a stop put to that, and that will be reevaluated. So no more making Comicsgate socks, no more producing them until we have a license, until we've signed that agreement. Okay, now, it's simple as that.
And the license you said you're not charging for, will the license be putting you in for a portion of whatever is done commercially?
I don't think so. I'm not going to say no to that, because what if there's some great big thing that's like so profitable and it's like Comicsgate Con? Like maybe I'll want a piece of that. I don't know. I'm allowed to ask for a piece of that. But what I'm saying right now is most likely not. Most likely that's not going to be a thing that happens. I'm not interested in it. I will be using like I said, I don't want to take from Comicsgaters. But on the other hand, I am going to be making my own stuff to make money from. So I will be making T-shirts. I'll be making hats. I'll be making beautiful. You got to see these Comicsgate beanies that I got coming. I got all of the gear that Comicsgaters like to wear. I'm going to profit. Yeah, I'm definitely going to profit from the word Comicsgate. I want other people to as well. If they think they can, I want them to do it. But again, I wouldn't want to see Vickyverse in the advertisements modeling the socks. She's clearly not Comicsgate. Wouldn't want to see that. That would be a reason why I would renege. I would pull the license away from the person who is who's using it. Represent Comicsgate well. I would just ask everybody who wants to make money from the word, who's got a license from us, to represent the brand well. And I think most people will, because I think most people want to make money, and that's great. Cool.
Now, recently, after you announced that you had acquired the TM, it was yours. You had the logo. You had the baseball pennant swoop. It's very
I've had it. It's right here on my hat.
Yeah. And first thing I thought was, I've seen that logo. Mm-hmm. I saw that logo over a year ago for Comicsgate with Happy Fun Toy Company, which was a Comicsgate fun thing that was going on. Right. Were you involved in that in any way, designing that logo with that venture?
No, those gentlemen. The logo is mine. They borrowed this logo. They swiped this logo from my merchandise and used it to make those socks, and that will cease.
Okay,
that's one thing that will cease happening. Yes,
I'm not going to hurt them. Membership for Comicsgate.
Yeah, I'm not interested in hurting those guys, because I don't think there was really, aside from, as Mr. Dong said, Vickyverse modeling them, which is repellent. Nobody wants that. The socks themselves just said Comicsgate. They seemed okay to me. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I would be happy to approve of. But you just have to get that license from us.
Okay, and to be clear about what the comics mark is, there's not a comics book imprint or a Comicsgate imprint. It's not going to compete with all caps. It's not going to replace all caps. What will it? What is the relationship between Comicsgate TM and All Caps Comics TM?
I own both of them. So, I mean, will there be Comicsgate comics? Maybe. There might be. I might do it. It might be the kind of thing I haven't decided yet. I'm going to put the mark on my comic books moving forward from here, because I need to do that. Will I create a whole separate brand where I publish other people through Comicsgate Comics? Maybe I will. I don't know. That's the kind of thing. Maybe I'll make a little money off of it that way. That'd be neat.
All right. So have you had anybody already apply for the use of the mark?
A few people reached out. Actually, maybe half a dozen people reached out to me and said, I've got this website. I'm doing this. Is it okay if I call my show this? And, in every case, I just said, yes, right now. Yeah. Let me, I'm keeping these people kind of on a little file there, and I'll reach out to them later with paperwork. But for now, it's always been somebody like Michael Bancroft. It's like, yeah, of course, you're Comicsgate. It's not even close to being a problem. So, And I agree with 200 Watt Studio.
Oh, 200 Watt Studio. Thank you for the $2 super chat too. Yeah, Shane Davis will make a better CG socks now. Yeah, get him to do it. Just let me know when he comes on because I got to block out that bam. It hurts my ears. And now I forgot what I was going to talk about. But
Yeah.
okay, so do you know what might be the first thing we see with the Comicsgate logo on it?
Yeah, the clothing. I'm gonna be launching a crowdfund. I've almost got it together. I'm just waiting for some new images. I selected 5 beanies, 5 baseball caps, and 7 t-shirts with the Comicsgate mark. They're beautifully designed by St. Clair, same people who did this hat. Everybody loves this hat. High quality, beautiful merchandise that looks cool. It's subtle. It's not, it just has some of the t-shirts just say Comicsgate across them. And I will be launching a crowdfunding campaign in order to make that stuff available for people to raise money. The money from that crowdfund is going to go into one of our accounts, which will be used as for legal fees in order to continue. We're in the middle of an interesting lawsuit, a few lawsuits about Comicsgate, and it'd be great to fund those lawsuits with Comicsgate itself. So I think in the past we've opened up GoFundMe's for lawsuits and just said, can you just give us $20? We're gonna sell you stuff. We're gonna make hats, great stuff that you're gonna love, in order to raise money for the legal fees. And that's it. I don't want to take anything from Comicsgate without giving them a product or something like that. And when it comes to making stuff like this, again, my thing is I really would like Comicsgaters to thrive. If somebody has a great idea for a shirt or something like that, poster that says Comicsgate, fantastic. Let's do it.
So are you going to establish an official channel? Because you get DM'd a lot. I mean, the at Ethan Van Sciver account, I can't imagine what it takes to bubble something up to get your attention. Are you going to have something where it's like, this portal is just for applications to use the trademark?
Neat idea. Maybe I will. Yeah. Maybe I will do that.
Okay. Because I think it would streamline things. I mean, James is already talking about how much of this is going to eat into your time. You're going to be the businessman at a desk with a pile of papers like approved, denied,
I don't anticipate. I don't anticipate all that much. I really don't. I don't think it's going to be like that. It hasn't been so far. There aren't too many people who are using Comicsgate to sell anything. The word Comicsgate on merchandise, on things. It just hasn't been a thing so far. Maybe it will be if we prove that there's a market for it and people really want. Somebody had a Comicsgate sweatshirt already out there. Great, we'll keep doing it. If we prove that there's a market for this and a lot of people want to wear, Comicsgate branded merchandise, maybe there'll be more of it. But right now, I don't anticipate that much. I don't think it's going to be that big of a problem.
It's no longer in my store, but there is one in existence. I need to get permission from you to wear my Ask Me About My Comicsgate Agenda t-shirt to conventions now.
No, you can. Don't confuse people. You can wear it. Do you want to sell it? Do you want to make more of them? That's what we need to talk about. Okay,
it's out of the store now, but this was like 3 years ago.
We got to make this very clear to people because they're always going to be people who are just like, do I have to ask Ethan if I'm Comicsgate? That's, again, just to make it clear. No, be Comicsgate. Say, use the hashtag, talk about Comicsgate, whatever it is. The only thing that my job is to protect the word Comicsgate as a trademark, the word Comicsgate. Yeah. So anytime it's being used in commerce, in other words, to sell something, to make money, I need to be aware of it and I need to grant a license or deny a license in some cases. Yeah. When that person is not like Preston Poulter. Or the other absurd example is Kelly Sudaconic. We would say no to these people. No, that you don't love Comicsgate. You're not Comicsgate. We're not going to grant you that license.
Think of it like the word Walt Disney, people. You can say all you want. I'm going to Walt Disney World. I love Walt Disney. I collect Walt Disney. But if you open a YouTube channel that says Walt Disney Talk and you're collecting super chats, now you're in commerce and you're using their name on your title. That's probably the most basic example. So if you have a Comicsgate show and you're monetized, you're getting super chats. First of all, why wouldn't you let Ethan know you have the show so that you can probably get a little bit more promotion and get more people viewing your show? But yeah, reach out.
One of the things that we really want to do here is, we still see ourselves as like a network of hot dog vendors after all. I want everybody to make money. I think I've made that clear over the last 5 years. I promote other people. I want other people without taking anything from them. I've never asked for a fee for promotion. I wouldn't do that here either. I do great with my own stuff. I really want everybody to be not only proud to be in Comicsgate, but for it to be profitable for them. Why, it costs so much in terms of social pressure to be Comicsgate. It'd be great. It'd be great if there was some other upside. Maybe I can make some money from it. That'd be great.
That would be great. I think there's going to be a lot of people who are crowdfunding a book right now that can see an opportunity to say, I would like to put that on the logo. I want to be the first. I want to be the first comic book out there with the Comicsgate logo on it. I bet there's already a race for that now that I've said it. Just to say, yes, we are Comicsgate. And if you want to do that, folks, at Ethan Van Sciver on Twitter. I don't know your other contacts that you would want to put out there, but that's fine.
You can hit me up at Twitter, for now, and then I'll work it out as we go. I might, I'm going to get some legal paperwork together that's really quick and easy for people. I don't know what it would mean to put just, the logo Comicsgate on your comic. I don't know what that would mean. I'm not sure how to do that, but I'll ask my lawyer, what that's all about. We'll work it out.
I think that it's people have wanted to do it, but nobody's, taken the step because they didn't want to have a,
You're saying
issues.
At that point, like there are people who might say, look, if I'm saying that this comic book is Comicsgate, I'm saying it's only for Comicsgate, and maybe that's a consideration. But listen, I don't know.
Mike Walter says a super chat. So Ethan, what is more ugly, a pregnant Joker or a chocolate Easter Bunny Velma?
I haven't seen the Velma thing, but the pregnant Joker was really, really disgusting.
I've been told he wasn't really pregnant. I'm like, well, he's not really real, so it's a moot point.
He wasn't really pregnant. He just had his taint examined and his belly, and he said, "I'm pregnant." And Zatanna said, "You can't get pregnant." And then his belly got big, but he wasn't really pregnant because he threw up a baby instead of pooping one out. Okay, I hate these people.
Now Corsair is pregnant in X-Men, so
yes, I saw that too. It's great.
I think that there should be more I should know about this trademark thing, but you've made it sound so simplified that I expect you maybe be flooded real soon here with requests.
Do only monetized live streams need to be? Well, is your live stream called Comicsgate, or you know what I mean? If your live stream is called the Matt C Show, it's not a problem.
Right.
If
it's Comicsgate tonight, you got an issue. And I would say, even if you're not monetized, at some point you'll have the hours and the views, at which point you will be monetized. So
if your show is called Comicsgate something or something Comicsgate, just check in with me, please.
Now, if there's people of Walmart, if somebody wants to do people of Comicsgate with the same intent, you might want to.
I might intervene. Mr. Dunks, yes, let's do it. Let's get a comic shot.
What about Twitter accounts? What about Twitter accounts like Comicsgate posting their L's?
I don't know. Let me check. Let me find out about that.
I say that, but I hesitate because I'm like, I don't think there's a commercial interest in a tweet.
Yeah, it's freedom of speech. They're somebody who's criticizing Comicsgate who wants to say Comicsgate posting their L's. If Man of Sex is interested in doing that from War Campaign, I don't think there's anything I can do about that. I don't think there's a conflict there, but I'll check.
Well, your time is valuable. I know you probably have more streams to get onto tonight.
Thank you very much.
It's night. You're going to be streaming somewhere. I know this.
Oh, I'm drawing actually. I've been drawing all day today, working on Rainbow the Brute, and I got to get this thing done. March 20th, I believe. No, March 15th. What's the Ides of March? Is it March 15th?
March 15th, yes.
March
Yes.
15th, we're launching Cyberfrog 3. So I got to get Rainbow the Brute done and get a big substantial portion of Cyberfrog 3 underway. It's this year is all about making comics. I spent the last 2 years bouncing around, working on other people's projects, making toys, doing that, this and that,
Fighting
a lot of fulfillment. Yeah,
two lawsuits. We haven't really talked about the other one, but I don't know that you can. So,
well, this year it's going to be all about making comics. I want to get Cyberfrog 3 out, so that's going to be and a bunch of others. One criticism that's very valid of Comicsgate is that we're just not putting out enough books. I don't want to flood the shelves with books, but I'm certainly capable of doing 150 pages a year. So that's the plan. That's 3 books. Let's get 3 books out there this year.
We had a tweet from Hojo there, $10 super chat. Thank you, sir. He would be honored if you would view the trailer that he's put up for the Mythicals. I think you've seen the tweet on that one. It's going to be an interesting book. Hojo is actually going to be in an effort with me, my first comic book. I've written novels and books before, but this is my first comic out of obscurity, which will be published by Arrow 4.0. We're doing an anthology of Golden Age public domain characters.
Cool.
I will have an 8-page character in there illustrated by Mark Oliver for The Clock, America's first masked adventurer. That'd be a lot of fun to get to that. So, Ethan, thank you again so much for coming on here. It's been very illuminating. I think a lot of people can maybe put their minds at ease now as to what all of this means and how it's going to impact them.
We're a big family. We fight a lot. We squabble a lot. We certainly have. But at the end of the day, I think we're a big family and we can get along. I think everybody at this point can probably see the wisdom of this. Help me out. That's all I'm asking. I don't, this isn't necessarily something that I wanted, a burden that I wanted, but it is mine. It is my burden. I get to do this. And I hope everybody will be kind enough, whether or not we're friends or we agree. The larger cause, I think, is more important. I hope everybody will be kind enough to help me out in that. And I'm going to be very, very easy about granting licenses of people who are Comicsgate and mean to make something kind of cool, kind of fun, or whatever to make money. I'm here. I'm gonna make that happen and make it official.
And it'll be an evolving process on case-by-case basis as you move forward. You're learning new stuff now. So,
yeah.
All right, everybody in the chat, thank you so much for being here tonight. We don't have a show without you. Like I said, we're just a podcast falling in the woods without you being there. And as always, while you were here, we just hope you had a blast. Good night.
I'm loading the Mythicals trailer right now since Hojo did that super chat for $10. I'm loading the Mythicals trailer right now.
Let's see it. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm loading it right now so you can play it, RJ. Because hey, he gave you $10, man.
Where did you load it to? Because I don't see it yet.
It's in this. I'm loading it right now. You got to just don't jump out of the studio right away. It's loading. It's loading. It's going round and round and round. I'm putting it right in the studio for you. Good to see you, Ethan. I'll tell you
that. Too, Pops. Great to see you, my friend. What happened?
Pops and I are part of a network. I have placed time on his network. So by going through him on Monday and Thursday, we're simulcasting right now on multiple different channels.
You are on Twitch and Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. You're all over the place right now, Ethan. I'm broadcasting this everywhere I can. That's how I operate the network. It's like as many eyes as possible, right?
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for it, Pops. Don't go away until you tell me it's done.
Yeah, we got to be quicker than that around here when it comes to promotion.
There it is. Okay, it just took a long time for a video to load. So Hojo, for $10, here is your video.
In a world where creatures of myth and legend exist, a covert task force is charged with keeping humanity safe from supernatural threats. And when young Nancy Moon stumbles into the eternal battle between good and evil, she finds... Oh my God, will you shut up? What's happening? Agent Beckett here. Aren't you tired of stuff like that? Want something different? Roll the tape. Whoops. Sorry about that. That's a song I'm writing for my ex. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's more like it. Alrighty. Welcome to the world of the mythicals. We have it all. Monsters. Magic. Government agents. He's the strong silent type. This guy. Ugh, gross, dude. Get some kind of cream or something. Lots of 90s style action. Pew pew pew. And that strong female lead alluded to earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention a dashing field commander with a great sense of fashion. Look at those glasses. South River Studios presents The Mythicals, Issue 1. Buy it, if you dare. Ugh, will you can it already? How'd you get free? Now beat it before I lose my cool. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today. Like right now.
Sign up today on Indiegogo.
All right, there is the Mythicals.
That looked great. That looked really good.
The thing I love about, as I sign off here, the thing I love about what Comicsgate has done is that it's inspired more people to make comics who otherwise would never have thought to do so or had the chance to do so in the mainstream. And for good or ill, I mean, not everybody has, the raw talent, but they've got the ability now and they get it out there in front of people. And if they succeed, it's all on them. So
everybody should be able to make comics. And that's really great. Comicsgate makes that possible. Perhaps, if you can get it funded, you can make a comic, and that's great.
Absolutely. Everybody, thank you again. And while you're here, we just hope you had a blast. Good night.